The new kingdom began with the expulsion of the Hyksos, an event that fundamentally reshaped Egyptian policy. The new pharaohs learned a critical lesson. Isolationism was a luxury Egypt could no longer afford. Under the Old and Middle Kingdoms, Egypt had largely been protected from invasion by geography. Under the new kingdom, that sense of security disappeared. Instead of remaining isolated, Egypt adopted an aggressive, outward-looking strategy designed to prevent future invasions through expansion. As a result, the new kingdom became an age of imperial conquest, bringing Egypt to the height of its power. Pharaohs no longer ruled solely as divine kings, but as military leaders, commanding professional armies and projecting power far beyond the Nile Valley. One of the greatest expansionist rulers of the 18th Dynasty was Thutmose III, often called Egypt's greatest warrior pharaoh. He led armies as far north as the Euphrates River and as far south as Nubia, in what is today mineral-rich Sudan. His eighth campaign marked the farthest northeastern expansion Egypt would ever achieve. Over the next 2 centuries, Egyptian warrior pharaohs expanded the empire into Syria and Palestine in the Near East, westward into Libya, and southward deep into Nubia. Wealth flowed into Egypt from these new tribute states, funding the most ambitious building programs since the age of the pyramids. Pharaohs spent lavishly on palaces, temples, and monumental complexes, many of which still dominate the landscape today. The true source of this new power was the army, and its importance is reflected in royal titles that now included phrases such as "beloved of the army." These rulers are often referred to as soldier kings. During this period of expansion, Egypt encountered powerful rivals, most notably the Hittites, the first Indo-European-speaking people for whom we have substantial historical evidence. The Hittites originated in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and expanded southward along the eastern Mediterranean, directly colliding with Egyptian expansion to the north. In 1274 BCE, the two powers clashed at the Battle of Kadesh in northern Syria. Both sides claimed victory, but neither achieved a decisive win. Instead, Egypt and the Hittites eventually signed one of the earliest known peace treaties in history. Kadesh marked the high water mark of Egyptian expansion. After this point, both empires gradually declined. The new kingdom also witnessed a dramatic cultural and religious revolution, particularly during the reign of Akhenaten. His rule introduced radical changes, a new religious system, a new artistic style, new literature, a new capital city, and the increased use of late Egyptian as a spoken language. Central to this revolution was the rejection of the god Amun. One reason for the renewed focus on temple construction before Akhenaten was the growing power of the priesthood. Temple priests, especially those of Amun-Ra, had become extraordinarily wealthy and influential. By around 1350 BCE, the priests of Amun controlled nearly a quarter of Egypt's land, and their power began to threaten both the authority of the pharaoh and the prestige of the military aristocracy that supported him. Perhaps in response to this threat, Amenhotep IV announced that Egypt would worship only one god, a solar deity named Aten, meaning the disk of the sun. In 1348 BCE, he changed his name to Akhenaten, meaning beloved of the Aten, and moved the capital from Thebes to a newly constructed city called Akhenaten, modern Tel El Amarna. Temples to Amun were closed or destroyed, and many surviving images of Amun date from after this period, not before it. The new religion was largely a royal cult, practiced by the pharaoh and his family, and supported by the court and military. However, it was deeply unpopular with the Egyptian population, which remained highly conservative and attached to traditional religious practices. Akhenaten is best described as a henotheist or monolatrist, terms that mean the worship of one god without denying the existence of others. This differs from true monotheism, which asserts that only one god exists. The relocation of the capital had serious political consequences. Corruption increased, and the army gained greater authority, particularly in tax collection. Around 1336 BCE, Akhenaten died. His young successor soon ascended the throne and changed his name to one of the most famous in history, Tutankhamun. Under his reign, the court returned to Thebes, traditional religion was restored, and Amarna was abandoned to the desert, along with Egypt's brief experiment with monotheism.